Hi everyone. So I figured that since I've gotten my development unit PinePhone that I'll make a short video on it. Now I'll be looking at the hardware in this video. I'll give partner project developers a little bit more time to update their images, so I get to show the best of what the respective projects have to offer. Now, as I mentioned, this is the Dev phone, so it is slightly different to the Braveheart edition that will be shipping in probably early January. There are a couple of differences aesthetically in the Braveheart batch, mostly to do with the finish on the back case. Let me just get this back into focus. There we go. Now, what you have seen so far probably is this, which was the mock-up that we have been working off of. And I'll bring these two side by side, like so. And as you can see, we have gotten very close, if not nearly identical, to the mock-up, to the original idea. Let me turn these guys over. One big difference is the finishing on this. Probably something you can't tell on video. Let me focus the camera. There we go. And the other big difference is that we initially thought we're going to have the USB-C port on top together with the headphone jack. Well, obviously in the finished design we decided to have the USB-C jack here at the bottom, which is probably a better idea and something that more people are more familiar with from whatever phones they're using. Now, a couple of other differences from the concept to this phone is these are minor changes, but they are actually quite important in like daily usage. The first of which is that these buttons stand much more proud than they were initially planned for. The other difference is that I'll try to capture this. Give me a second. Right. So, where are we? Here. This plastic bit here that sits over the camera actually protects it. So when you have your phone on the surface like so, it's actually resting on the plastic that surrounds the camera as opposed to the actual camera glass. Now, what some of you may not know is that here on the front, apart from the front-facing selfie camera and the earpiece, you also have a LED, multicolor LED notification light. So that will be implemented for to blink different colors when the phone is charging or receiving messages, so forth and so on. At least if developers choose to do so. So, first jump cut I ever made in a video. Reason being, I had to take off the back cover of the phone, and I figured that as amusing as watching me fumble with taking off the back cover with one hand is, it probably doesn't make for great video. So that has been cut, and here's what is probably the more exciting part of the phone with the back cover taken off. We have the internal antennas. I, frankly speaking, don't know which one is which. I presume that one has to be for the modem, one has to be for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and the last is likely GPS, or so I guess, but you would have to ask a hardware engineer for what each of these do. Now, behind this white piece of paper here is the modem. As you have seen probably in pictures, it's exposed, so I had to cover it up for privacy reasons, so this is actually a phone I'll be using and taking with me. Probably the first meetup I'll go for is FOSDEM in Belgium, in Brussels, in February of 2020. So if you'll be there, then you're very welcome to check this out. Some of you will have your PinePhones by then as well. So, yep. Right, so what do we have here? Well, here are the, let me see, there. Here are the privacy switches, and they're clearly labeled. Now the reason why this one is flipped is for the sake of getting UART output, which is being outputted through the headphone jack, like on the Pinebook, like on the Pinebook Pro, as well as on the upcoming PineTab. And here we have Itc pins. These are pogo pins, so when pressed, let me focus the camera. Yeah. So they what is it called? They compress when pressed on and make contact with whatever peripheral is attached to the phone. Now we have already spoken about making a keyboard case for the phone, so this is something that's coming. And what you will have to do is you're going to take off this standard back cover and basically put on a back cover which has a keyboard attached to it, and that's going to be making contact with these pins, with these pogo pins. Here you have the slot for the USB, for the SD card, and the SIM card sits right underneath there. The SD card is bootable, so you can run a variety of OSs off of this SD card, so you don't have to wipe whatever you have on the internal eMMC memory. And here is the 3000 milliamp battery that we will be using. Now, I don't know if we're gonna go with this particular vendor for the batteries, but it's gonna have the same form factor. Down at the bottom you have the USB C port and a speaker. So I was when I finished recording this last bit, I figured that I didn't give people a sense of how big this thing actually is, and I've been frantically looking for my old Huawei Mate 10. So if you know what size that phone is, this phone is about the same size as a Huawei Mate 10 in terms of length. Now it is somewhat thicker than a Huawei Mate 10, but size-wise it is approximately the same. It is not particularly heavy. It's like but it is super sturdy. So yeah, that about wraps it up. And I said I won't be doing software, but since the screen turned on, I figured I might as well. Sad news today. Show you how well this is desktop Firefox on PostmarketOS. Runs very well. It's just sad that it's such bad news that we're watching here. Anyways, I'll leave you guys with this, and if you have any other questions, then make sure to pop into the chat and ask me or people who are did we lose Wi-Fi? No, we have Wi-Fi. So what's going on here? I don't know. Let's try this video instead. Oh, there we go. This video plays. So if you have any questions, pop into the chat, ask me, or better yet, ask developers questions. See you around. Thank you.